I stayed at Moth Hotel once. I was moved by the plight of the moths who run the place. They don't know they're moths, you see. They think they're human. I made 2 series of audio podcasts about Moth Hotel, and I wanted to make a documentary film about it too. But for a long time I couldn't work out how to do it. Then someone at Studio Senseless suggested using a new technology called AI, so that the audience could see the moths as they see themselves. I'd never heard of AI, but I decided to give it a go. Here's the film.
They say the Moth Hotel was not built, but dreamed, a shifting structure resting on the edge of the waking world. Inside, they say the hotel stretches infinitely in all directions and is mostly hallway. Guests step through the doors as if waking from a fever, uncertain of who they were, before the threshold closed behind them. In the grand, ornate reception area, the air trembles with the restless flutter of wings, and silence carries the weight of stories that refuse to end.
Of particular interest is the reception desk. Guests frequently approach, hoping to check in, only to find themselves filling out paperwork that seems to have already been completed in their own handwriting. The bell, meant to summon staff, rings only once, no matter how many times it's struck. Another interesting feature is the lift. At first sight, a standard elevator, brushed steel with a faint smell of ozone. Yet its buttons seem infinite, receding into the panel like a star field. When pressed, the lift may deliver you to a floor that doesn't exist on any plan, or occasionally to the same floor you left, only slightly rearranged. Passengers have reported journeys lasting weeks, though their watches insist only seconds have passed.
Some folks believe that the Moth Hotel was once a theater where plays were performed without actors. The stage was set, the lights came up, but no one appeared. The audience sat in perfect silence, staring at an empty space that was somehow full of drama. Tickets sold out for decades. Patrons wept at invisible betrayals, gasped at unheard monologues, applauded until their hands blistered for finales that never arrived. One surviving review simply reads, "The absence of Act 2 was particularly convincing."
A 5-star property, Moth Hotel now provides a variety of rather more accessible entertainment for its guests. And that is where this story begins.
I'm Melton Thornaby. Welcome to this afternoon's very exclusive wine tasting. Today's guest wine is the Chateau d'Yquem 2001, a Sauternes so legendary it could be used as ransom in a high society kidnapping. One bottle auctioned last year for the price of a Bentley. On the nose, extraordinary, like apricot jam that's been smuggled into a cathedral and left near the organ pipes. There's also honey, but not cheerful honey. Funeral honey, the sort they spread on scones after burying a much-loved relative.
At that precise moment, Melton Thornaby was most rudely interrupted. A bright orange light filled the guest lounge, and the wine critic was whisked upwards. He had been abducted by aliens, which was unexpected, to say the least.
I shall now read the minutes of the last meeting. It was decided that we could not stand idly by while our esteemed colleague Melton Thornaby was sucked off the planet. A rescue mission was therefore sanctioned. We have since recruited the services of a frail and elderly rocket scientist who worked on the design of something called Apollo 13.
A plan was put in place to launch Moth Hotel into space. The building was successfully excavated from its foundations, the intention to hunt down the alien spacecraft, defeat the aliens by whatever means possible, and return Melton Thornaby to the relative safety of his wine cellar. In the meantime, we could only hope and pray that he would not be probed.
The launch of Moth Hotel was successful. Only 11 of the guests lost their lives. The navigation system was bad-tempered, but generally reliable.
Turn left in 4.1 light years, then glide past the glittering fields of mild alarm, where starlight seems slightly anxious about its own existence. Turn left and decelerate near planet Tepid, whose aquatic inhabitants, if you can call them that, will watch your ship with polite indifference. Turn right and then curve around the crescent of forgetful shadows. Reduce speed further to slip through the belt of faintly regrettable decisions, each asteroid spinning lazily and whispering half-forgotten promises. Take the third exit at the roundabout and align with the Comet of Satisfaction, which orbits with ceremonious elegance. You have not yet arrived at your destination, but you will, probably.
Look, I know I'm overthinking this, but is it a hotel or a spaceship or what? I don't get it.
Space is dull, interminably dull. You'd think floating in zero gravity would be thrilling. It bloody isn't. Everything drifts slowly, including you. You try to grab a cup of coffee. It hovers. You chase it. Hours later, you're still chasing it. There are no bars, no beaches, no street performers juggling flaming swords. You look out the window and stars. Millions of stars. They don't move. They don't do anything. If you're stupid enough to ask, the answer to almost every question is time dilation. Space travel is endlessly quiet, infinitely repetitive, extremely uncomfortable, and spectacularly underwhelming. Dull, dull, dull. I may take my own life.
Time for Relativity Speaking, with me, Angela Lansbury. Today, by special request, I'm talking about time dilation. Sounds complicated, but don't worry, I'll dumb it down for you. Imagine you're at a cosmic bus stop. One bus is moving close to the speed of light. The other is parked at the edge of a black hole, say at the gift shop. If you hop on the fast bus, time for you slows down. You'll age like a fine cheese left in the fridge. Slow, subtle, slightly worrying. Meanwhile, your friend at the gift shop is aging normally, possibly complaining about overpriced asteroid trinkets. So technically, you could leave them behind for a century, come back, and they'll ask why your hair is suddenly grey, but your sandwich is still fresh. That's relativity. That's time. And that, my dear space travelers, is all you need to know. I need a drink.
It has come to my attention that some viewers are still under the impression that the inhabitants of Moth Hotel are not human beings, but moths. Listen up. The daily operations of this hotel require a level of organisation and dedication that moths simply could not manage. Schedules are maintained, emails are answered, and administrative tasks are diligently completed. Indeed, more recently, rocket technology has been embraced and courses have been plotted through the stars. Imagine a moth, tiny wings aflutter, attempting to type a document, manage a booking system, or fly a space vehicle. The very absurdity of the image should dispel any lingering doubts. These tasks are performed by humans, dedicated, perhaps overly caffeinated, but undeniably human. We are moths. Sorry, we are not moths.
I'm Moth Hotel's oldest resident, and I wish to complain in the strongest possible terms at my recent treatment. It was without consulting the residents that the hotel was blasted into outer space, and this is proving to be extremely inconvenient. My daughter is no longer able to come and visit me at weekends, and the hotel's location, currently orbiting a distant planet, is unreasonably remote from the pensioners' social club in the high street. Please return the hotel to its normal location as soon as possible, or I will be forced to take legal action. I'm 93.
Now, look, I know I'm overthinking this again, but how can they be moths? They don't look like moths. Is it that they identify as moths, or what? I don't get it.
Good morning. This is your 7 a.m. wake-up call. Please be aware that Moth Hotel is currently in close proximity to an alien spacecraft. You will not be able to see this craft unless you open your curtains, so we advise you to keep them closed. If you have run out of complimentary shampoo and bath gel, please leave a note on your bed when you go down to breakfast.
I shall now read the minutes of the last meeting. Item 1. Having pursued our friend and colleague Melton Thornaby across the cosmos, we have today sighted an alien ship. Our sensors seem to be picking up a human heartbeat on board. Perhaps our mission is reaching some kind of conclusion. We shall attempt to contact the ship.
I'm Melton Thornaby. It is now 14 weeks since I was abducted by aliens. The food here is excellent, first rate. But my abductors have habits one might call eccentric. They do not sleep. At night they dissolve into puddles of fluid, pooling silently across the floor, and by dawn they rise again, assembled and immaculate, as though nothing has occurred. Their courtship rituals are especially intriguing. Two aliens face one another, open their mouths until they overlap and form a single shimmering oval. From this shape, a hum emerges, a sound like bees trapped in a grandfather clock. They call this the joining. Their politeness and kindness remain unfaltering, which is, of course, the most unsettling thing of all. They told me yesterday that a rescue mission from Earth has contacted them and that they are preparing to negotiate for my release. This is terrible news. I have fallen in love with one of their females. She is called Foxglove. I am going to ask her to marry me.
In preparation for our forthcoming close encounter, we have a new piece of technology aboard the Moth Hotel, the coincidence regulator. It stands in the center of the library, buzzing and clunking with improbable precision. The regulator's function is to keep the ship's coincidences at a manageable level. Left unmonitored, coincidences proliferate during long voyages. The regulator works by redistributing probability. It siphons off excess synchronicity and expels it as harmless statistical noise into deep space. The regulator is forgetful and sometimes issues coincidences at random, like 3 unrelated members of staff sneezing in exact unison.
In the event of unexpectedly encountering an alien spacecraft, please resist the urge to narrate events aloud. This will only accelerate any potential danger. Step 1. Locate your nearest exit. This will be disguised as something you once loved. Touch the door gently, but do not open it. Step 2. Check for a spacesuit under your seat. Put it on. Not the seat, the spacesuit. Step 3. Remain standing until further notice. If no notice arrives, remain standing indefinitely. Await further instructions and begin to mentally prepare yourself for the worst.
I shall now read the minutes of the last meeting. Item 1. Melton Thornaby has been returned safely to the Moth Hotel. He was released as part of an exchange deal that we negotiated with the alien ship. There is a very fine wine cellar at Moth Hotel, and we were able to fulfill the alien's specific requests for many of its most rare and expensive bottles. These included 6 bottles of Domaine de la Romanée Conti, a dozen bottles of Romanée Conti Grand Cru Burgundy, in our last remaining bottle of Screaming Eagle Cabernet Sauvignon.
I cannot stop dreaming about the moon. In my dream last night, Buzz Aldrin was there. Buzz Aldrin is always there in the moon dreams. I was with Buzz, and we were being followed by satellites shaped like teacups. They drifted above Buzz and I, silent but insistent, and whenever we stopped moving, the craters beneath us rippled like a disturbed pond. I realized the moon itself was alive in a way that was patient and terrible. It didn't care about me or Buzz, but it found us just interesting enough to watch for an instant. Every time I blinked, the landscape shifted, rearranging itself into impossible geometries, until I finally understood. The moon doesn't exist for humans. It exists for itself, and for anyone foolish enough to dream about it. Then, suddenly, Buzz was naked and beckoning for me to come to him. We embraced, and the moon was suddenly naked too. I awoke on damp sheets.
Since his return to the hotel, Thornaby has been very withdrawn and refuses to communicate with the hotel's doctor. He admits to being probed on several occasions, but says that it was always a very pleasant and satisfying experience. It is clear that Thornaby is suffering from what is known as Stockholm Syndrome. He says he misses his alien abductees profoundly, particularly the fine dining experience they served up for him on a daily basis. Melton claims that he is legally married to an alien called Foxglove. However, on closer examination, the paperwork reveals that this arrangement is merely some kind of common law partnership. Item 2. Plans are currently being put in place for an immediate return to Earth, which we are sure will be a great relief to our staff, guests, and residents.
Please continue to hold. Your call is important to us. You are currently number 367 in the queue. If you are calling about the return of Moth Hotel to Earth, here are a few frequently asked questions. Yes, due to relativity, several hundred years have now passed on Earth, and all your friends or relatives are dead. Yes, you should strip the bed in your room and place your sheets and pillowcases in the bath. No, you are not allowed to take the complimentary bathrobes with you, but you may keep the complimentary shower gel and shampoo. Please note, if you left your car in the underground car park, it has been destroyed.
For your convenience, reception has booked you an Uber. In order to exit this presentation, it is a black Kia, registration number TF41AJL. Waiting time is 14 minutes. Your driver's name is Joseph. Please do not tell him that we are moths.